Hello and welcome to the 13.6 kickoff video for the Geo team. I'm Nick Wynn, Engineering Manager for Geo, filling in for our product manager, Fabian. We have some exciting things planned for 13.6, so let's get right into it. First thing that we are going to focus on is finishing replication for version snippets. We're going to be doing this via the SelfService framework so that not only are we going to add replication for a currently unreplicated data type, but we're going to be making it easier for GitLab engineers to add replication support for new repository data types. We're also going to enable usage ping on geo secondaries. One of the product performance indicators that we want to track is the number of operations on a geo secondary. We currently don't have usage ping enabled at all on secondary, so we want to make sure that we're enabling this and then adding the metrics that we want to track. We're also going to be adding verification for package files with the SelfService framework. And much like snippet replication with the SelfService framework, not only is this going to add verification for package files, but it's going to make it a lot easier to add verification for future blob data types that are added with the SelfService framework. Not only will replication be available out of the box when adding a blob data type with the SelfService framework, but verification will also be supported. A few months ago, we enabled Geo on the GitLab.com staging environment, and this has really helped us improve the performance and scalability of Geo as we've been able to develop and test Geo at scale. Now that it's enabled on staging, we also want to investigate what would be required to perform a planned failover on the staging environment. A lot of large self-hosted customers rely on Geo for disaster recovery, and we want to make sure that we're dogfooding this capability for ourselves and passing along any improvements that we discover along the way. We're also going to be moving existing blob data types over to the SelfService framework. With the SelfService framework, we made it easier to add new replicables, such as package files, external MR diffs, and Terraform state files. Now we want to move things that we previously replicated over to use this framework as well. This is going to improve the overall maintainability of the Geo code base and ultimately make it easier and faster for us to deliver improvements and features to our customers. We're also excited to be adding support for PostgreSQL HA on Geo secondaries. In the past, customers have been able to set up Postgres database clusters on primaries, but the secondary has always needed to be a single database node. This is problematic if Geo is used as part of a disaster recovery strategy because it means that failing over to a designated secondary can't utilize the same high availability database configuration immediately. So this is going to make it easier for customers to have a secondary that exactly mirrors their primary. And we're going to be using Petroni, which is currently experimentally supported in Omnibus. So we're planning to release this as experimental support, and we'll continue to improve the documentation as well as limitations and follow up with improvements to make Petroni on geosecondaries more production ready. In 13.6, we're also going to be releasing support for a read-only mode. Currently, system administrators have no way of enabling maintenance or read-only mode for GitLab, and this can be useful in a few different scenarios. For example, if you're doing a planned failover from a primary to secondary, you may want to block write access to a GitLab installation in order to make sure that the state between the primary and secondary is fully synced. So having a read-only mode would be really useful in this scenario. One of the pain points with the disaster recovery process for Geo is that it's a highly manual process with a lot of steps involving modifying configuration files, reconfiguring GitLab, and running a command to promote a secondary to a primary. In 13.5, we released a proof of concept for a single command that could be run on any node to promote a secondary to primary that would handle the modification, that would handle modifying the configuration needed to promote the secondary. And in 13.6, we're going to expand on this to support larger multi-node geo installations. And this is a big step towards reducing the amount of steps needed to failover for larger geo installations. We're also planning to investigate some issues that came from testing upgrades on geo multi-node installations. We want to make sure that zero downtime upgrades with minor versions are also supported when using geo. There are a couple instances where we found some disruption, and we want to make sure that these are either documented or fixed. Finally, we are going to continue working on the GeoAdmin UI redesign. We've had some great feedback on the initial designs in the solution validation phase, and we're going to continue iterating on those designs from the feedback that we received. There's some back-end work as well that needs to be done before we can implement some of the new ideas in the design, so we'll be working on those. And we're excited to start rolling out some of these updated designs over the next couple of milestones. That does it for the 13.6 Geo Kickoff. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we plan ambitiously, so feel free to check in on our epics and issues for the latest information.